Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Last class we have completed until this sentence Sa'dun fil hammami yatawadda'u, and we said Sa'd is in the bathroom, he is doing wudu. Today inshallah start the next sentence Wa ayna Sa'idun. I think you know wa, this is and. Ayna, where. Sa'id is Sa'id. So, and where is Sa'id? And where is Sa'id? So the father asks about the second child or the second son whose name is Sa'idun. وَأَيْنَ سَعِيدٌ, and where is Sa'idun? The mother says Sa'idun fil ghurfati yaqra'ul Qur'ana. Sa'idun fil ghurfati yaqra'ul Qur'ana. And let's start with the first vocabulary for today. Let's remove the and we say ghurfatun. Ghurfatun. Ghurfatun means room. Ghurfatun means room. And we highly recommend to study the plural form from this room. How to say rooms? We say ghurafun. This is rooms. So singular is ghurfatun, plural is ghurafun. Singular ghurfatun, plural ghurafun. So here Sa'idun fil ghurfati. Sa'idun is in the room. Sa'idun is in the room. Don't forget fi is in and its preposition affect the next word to have kasra. And also don't forget that we remove the ya, we skip it from reading when the next letter is al, or when the next word start with al, that means the. So Sa'idun fil ghurfati, and then he says yaqra'ul Qur'ana. Yaqra'ul Qur'ana. If you look carefully to this yaqra'u, can you say what type of verb is this? What type of verb is this? I think you can answer direct. Immediately you say it starts with ya and last letter has dhamma. Yaqra'u. That means this is a present verb, and this present verb is used for he. Don't forget the last class, we said all that. So, yaqra'u is a present verb. Now, can you say the past verb from this present verb? I think you can say that easily. Let's remember, we remove the first ya, change the last to be fatha, and the second we put fatha because it would be the first letter that we will start with. We cannot start with sukun. We said that all last class. So let's do it after change. We say qara'a. This is a past verb from this present yaqra'u. So the past is qara'a, present is yaqra'u. Qara'a, yaqra'u. What's meaning of yaqra'u present? Yaqra'u means read. When you read something, this is a present yaqra'u. And the past qara'a, this is the past from read. So the present verb read is yaqra'u, and the past read, qara'a, read, the past from read. So let's say that سعيد في الغرفة. سعيد is in the room. سعيد is in the room. He is reading. Present. يقرأ used for he. As we said before, he is reading. Reading what? Reading Al-Qur'an. Reading what? Reading Al-Qur'an. And you know Al-Qur'an is the Quran. The Quran is Al-Qur'an. So, Sa'idun is in the room. He is reading Al-Qur'an. And let's say a note here. The Quran is Al-Qur'an. Al-Qur'an. Normally, Arabic nouns take Dhamma. Al-Qur'anu. That is always, we use it like this. Al-Qur'anu. Al-Qur'anu. But why in this example, why in this sentence, we use it with Fatha? Al-Qur'ana. Why we used Fatha Al-Qur'ana and we didn't use the normal Dhamma Al-Qur'anu? Now let's focus with me. This is a grammar rule. This is a grammar rule. We normally know if you use any verb, let's say for example, to eat. To eat. The verb eat mostly requires two things. Requires a doer and requires something that's done. Doer and done means it requires someone who is eating and requires something that has been eaten. This is normally, any verb is like this. Any verb requires someone who did this verb and someone or something that this verb done on it. So, the doer of any verb in Arabic, we call it fa'il. And the thing that has been done, we call it maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi. These two terms are very important. Fa'ilun, maf'ulun bihi. Fa'ilun is the doer. We can say in grammar it's the subject. And maf'ulun bihi is the thing that has been done, or we say in grammar is the object. Maf'ulun bihi. So, let's say example to understand it. Let's say Muhammad read the book. Muhammad read, the past from read, the book. Let's write this. Muhammad is Muhammadun. Or let's start with the verb read. How to say read in the past for he? We just said it's qara'a. Let's write qara'a. Qara'a. That's read. Who read? Muhammad read. So let's write Muhammad. What's the thing that has been read? This is the book. Al-Kitab. So, in this sentence, can you determine where is the verb and where is the doer and where is the thing that's done? I think it's easy. The verb is qara'a, that's read. And the doer is Muhammad. We call that in grammar subject. In Arabic we say fa'il. In Arabic the subject or the fa'il is always has Dhamma as usual. The normal is Dhamma. So here we apply the normal Dhamma. And where is the thing that has been done, mean that has been read? You see, the book has been read. So this is مفعول به, or object in grammar, object. The object or مفعول به in Arabic always comes with fatha on the last letter, and this is the rule. So how to read this sentence? Let's write it again and read it step by step. قرأ Muhammad. This is subject, takes dhamma. Muhammadun. We put this dhamma with tanween. The book. Al-Kitaba. We put fatha. Why we don't put two fatha for tanween? Because there is the first. There is the first. We cannot use tanween with the. If we remove the and we said Muhammad read a book, not the book. Let's do it. قرأ Muhammadun a book, not the book. So kitaban. We put two fatha here. We put two fatha here because we put tanween as this word has no al first. And don't forget, writing rule, always the two fatha comes always with an extra alif. When you need to add two fatha, it's obligation to add alif, and then you put on this alif the two fatha. So always two dhamma comes on the last letter, two kasra comes under the last letter, but two fatha we add extra alif, then we put this two fatha. Don't forget. So قرأ Muhammadun a book. Kitaban. Two fatha. This is object. مفعول به. مفعول به. It's important to know these Arabic terms. مفعول به for object and فاعل for subject. فاعل comes normally with dhamma. مفعول به comes with fatha. So back to the sentence. سعيد في الغرفة. سعيد is in the room. يقرأ. He is reading. Al-Qur'ana, the Quran. سعيد is in the room. He is reading the Quran. Why the Quran has fatha? Now you know. This is the thing that has been read. So this is object. This is مفعول به. That's why it has fatha. You should know and understand and apply all that. So up to now we did two verbs. If you remember, يتوضأ, he is doing wudu. يقرأ, he is reading. And we did the past from these two verbs. We remove ya. Tawadda'a. Tawadda'a means did wudu or he did wudu, because all that verbs are used with he or a masculine name. So tawadda'a is the past, he did wudu. And qara'a, that's read, the past from read. And this is the past. Present yaqra'u, past qara'a. Present yatawadda'u, past tawadda'a. You need to study these two verbs, present and past. You understand meaning and apply that very, very well. So we finish this sentence. سعيد في الغرفة يقرأ القرآن. Sa'id in the room, he is reading Quran. Now if I ask you, Why al-ghurfati has kasra? You say because there is a preposition before. If I ask you why this verb has dhamma, you say because this is a present verb. If I ask you why al-Quran has fatha, you say because this is object maf'ulun bihi. The noun that's affected by the verb is object, or in Arabic maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi, and this maf'ulun bihi comes always with fatha. So understand that very well. Then Al-Abu asks, wa ayna sa'idatun? You need to ask me. Sa'idatun, there is a ta at the last. It's feminine. Oh, and Saida is the name. This is a feminine name. Do you remember? We said all feminine names cannot be with tanween. But you see there is tanween here. Sa'idatun, to dhamma. This sign refers to dhamma. This sign that's instead or a substitute of to dhamma. So we see to dhamma here. Sa'idatun, is that correct? We say no. This is not correct. So this is a mistake in this book. It must be Sa'idatu. Why? Because this is a feminine name that's mamnu' min as-sarf. Do you remember this term? Mamnu' min as-sarf. This term is used for the noun that cannot be with tanween. So we must say like this. وَأَيْنَ سَعِيدَةُ one dhamma, not two dhamma. This is a question of the father. And where is Sa'ida? He asks about his daughter. That name is Sa'idatu. Her name is Sa'idatu. So the father says, and where is Sa'idatu? The mother says, Sa'idatu fil musalla. Sa'idatu fil musalla. في المصلى لا فتحة on the lam, and then she said تصلي كسرة on the lam. So سعيدة, she said سعيدة. No, we have to correct it. سعيدة في المصلى تصلي. Let's read it again. سعيدة في المصلى تصلي. سعيدة في المصلى تصلي. So, سعيدة is in the musalla. What's musalla? Let's write it. Musalla. Let me ask you, what's the last letter? You can say this last letter is ya. I say no, this is not ya. The last letter, this is alif. Sometimes we write this alif like ya, but it's alif, not ya. How to know it's alif or ya? It's determined by the letter before this. So you check the letter before. If it has fatha, we know fatha is suitable for alif. So this is alif, not ya. If it has kasra before, so this is ya. Let's say that again. If the last letter is written like this may be alif and may be ya. How to know? You look at the letter before. If the letter before has fatha, so this is alif. If the letter before has kasra, so this is ya. Why? Because it's logic. The alif preceded by fatha. The ya preceded by kasra. So if you see this letter at the end and before is fatha, so this is alif. Before kasra, so this is ya. Let's check that. Sa'idatu fil musalla. I say مصلى مصلى لا. There is fatha before this, so the last letter here is alif. You can ask, but why we write it like ya? There is a detailed rule. We will study it on the third book from this series. We are now in the first book of Alarabiya, bayna yadayk. The third book from this series, we will study why we write alif or like ya. So some patience, and we will get all that inshallah in the future. But now we need to know the last letter here is alif or ya. You know that from the letter before. Let's check now. سعيدة في المصلى. This is fatha on the lam. That means this letter is alif. And there is a sign in writing that can indicate that. What's this sign? This sign we do it mostly but not permanent, not always. So most of writings, most of books have this way or have this sign. So if you look and you see the ya has no dots under, that means it's not ya, it's alif. And if you see this ya has two dots under, that means it's a normal ya. So this sign is important. We apply it in most cases. If you see some books has no or has not this sign, so you don't care because this is not obligation. This is not always, but we mostly use this. The alif, when it's written like ya, we write it without dots. The ya, normal ya, we put two dots under. So let's look here. Fil musalla. This ya has no dots under, so you know it's alif. That's why we pronounce it like alif. Musalla, la. This is alif. And the ya that has two dots, this ya are normal ya. These two ya are normal ya. So, سعيدة في المصلى. What's meaning of musalla? We use musalla for any place that we do salah in. For example, in your house, there is a room you do salah in. We call this room musalla. For example, there is an open place in the city. We do Salat al-Eid, the prayer of Eid, in. This is a wide open place, not the mosque. We call this wide place that we pray in, we call it also musalla. So any place that we do salah in is called musalla, but we must use it for the room in your house or for the open place that we do Salat al-Eid, or a small mosque. We find it in stations, airports, and these public places in Arabic countries. They make a small mosque in this. This small mosque is called also musalla. So let's see again. What's meaning of musalla? Generally, musalla, any place we do salah in. But now mostly we use it for three places. The room in your house you do salah in, the open place in the city we do Salat al-Eid in, or a small mosque that's built in public places like stations or airports and so on. So that's the meaning of musalla. In this sentence we can say this is a praying room. This is a room for prayer. So Sa'idatu, in the praying room, fil musalla tusalli. Fil musalla tusalli. Let me say something here because I think the lesson now is long. We did a lot of things today. I will say a note on musalla and we will say tusalli in the next lesson. I don't want to make the class too long and too hard. So we will say today this part only. We said Sa'idatu fil musalla. Sa'idatu is in the praying room, and tusalli, we didn't do that now. Before I finish this lesson, I expect that you ask a question. What is this question? Oh, you should think. You should try to understand. If any question came to your mind, you should ask and say why. So, what is the question that I'm expecting now from you? I'm expecting that you say, fi is a preposition, and the next word must be with kasra. But we don't see this kasra here in this word. Al-musalla. Where is the kasra on this word? This word must be with kasra because there is a preposition before. This is a logic question that you must ask, that I expect you to ask me about. And let me tell you, in the future, inshallah, we will know that any word that end with alif, we cannot pronounce dhamma or fatha or kasra or anything on the alif. The alif is still the same without any change. So this musalla, the last letter is alif, as we said. So we cannot pronounce kasra, we cannot pronounce dhamma, we cannot pronounce fatha. But you should know al-musalla, there is a kasra here, but this kasra is hidden and we can't pronounce it. Why? Because this word ends with alif, and the last letter, that's alif, we cannot pronounce kasra under this alif. That's impossible in Arabic. So that's why we don't see the kasra. There is kasra. Yes, there is kasra, but we don't see this kasra because the last letter here is alif, and that in all cases, any word, some people's name are Musa. Let's write it. Musa. This is alif written like ya because the fatha before and no dot under. So this is alif. Why we don't say Musa dhamma? We said the normal Arabic nouns we put dhamma. No, here Musa has alif at the end. Isa had alif at the end. So we cannot pronounce dhamma or anything else. The alif is still the same without any change. That's why we don't say kasra here in al-musalla. You should understand all that very well. And inshallah, we see you next class to start from this. Tusalli and do the next sentence, inshallah. Do your best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.